Good morning, boys and girls. Today for our math lesson, our objective is I can tell time to the minute on an analog clock. So I would like to show you what an analog clock looks like. This is called an analog clock. Can you guys say analog? And that's just a fancy way to say the clock that hangs on the wall that is in your classroom. We have these in our classroom. You may have one of these somewhere else in your house. Your parents might have a really fancy one on the wall that is used to tell time but also looks nice for decoration. So that's one type of clock. This is an analog clock. This is a digital clock. Okay, the time is displayed digitally. We don't need to read the clock for this clock because it tells us that it's 2:28. So you may see a clock like this on your parents' phone. You might see this on an alarm clock or many other places. But today we're going to learn how to tell time on an analog clock. So yesterday you watched a video that showed you how to use an analog clock to tell time to the quarter hour and the half hour. Well, today we're going to be learning how to use this clock to tell time to the minute. So if you look at the different parts of this analog clock, first of all, you're going to see that it has a short hand and it has a long hand, and this one also has a second hand. We're not going to worry about that today. The red hand is called the second hand. We're going to talk about the hour hand and the minute hand. So the hour hand tells us what hour it is. So we are in the hour of 3 o'clock. The minute hand tells us the minute. And if you see, this clock has different numbers on the inside of the bigger numbers. It starts at 0, then 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, all the way around the clock. That's because there are 60 minutes in an hour. Do you guys know what they are counting by? That's right, they're counting by fives. So each big number on the clock represents an increment of 5 minutes. Okay, but this minute hand is not pointing at the 5, which is near the 1. It is pointing 2 lines after the 5 and kind of more towards the 10. So, does anybody have a guess as to what time this clock says? This clock actually says 3:07, okay, because it's after 3 o'clock. The minute hand is already past the 12, and the 3 is where the hour hand is pointing. And it's past the 5, and now it's at the 6, and now it's at the 7. So this is actually 3:07. So I have a clock here, and I'm going to show you a little bit more about how to tell time on an analog clock. Okay? So here's my big Judy clock, and you guys have seen these in class probably before when you were in primary grade.